welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is 2021. Can't believe we're here. I actually can't believe that 2020 is over and we are in a new year. It kind of feels surreal because 2020 was such a intense year that it was like, felt like we were forever going to be in 2020. And the fact that we are now and then next year feels kind of weird. I think I still some days feel like I am in 2020 just because a lot of the things that we had to deal with in 2020 just came along, hopped over New Year's Eve into 2021. And here we are. I hope everyone had a good festive season, and for everyone here in South Africa, we are in summer, so that always makes one feel better and happier than winter, grey skies, rain. Luckily we don't have any of that. We have nice sunshiny weather. Anyway, so we celebrated Christmas. Last time I chatted to you guys, it was Christmas time, and we obviously had to do it quite small and safe because of the stuff. And then I was off for a couple of days, as was Jason, so we kind of chilled. Just really didn't do a lot. From the intro, that was just some snippets of stuff we did, but majority of it was here at home because we were enjoying our time off, safely and responsibly. And then what happened? That was just a disaster. But it was necessary. Some people feel like it's not necessary, some feels like it is, and I just stand with the crowd that feels like it's necessary, that we need to do whatever we can to be safe and get this thing going on its way. So then we were not allowed to go to the beach anymore, which I must say it is weird because that's what we do in summer here in Cape Town, at least. We take some time to rest and relax, and going to the beach is kind of one of them. I like to tan, I like to swim. It just makes you feel good, but the beaches are very crowded over this period, and they decided to close off all beaches, at least in the Western Cape and in other provinces I think too. We also took off our Christmas decorations. I wanted to start the new year clean. I was like especially with shooting Vlogmas and then uploading Vlogmas, and it was a lot of Christmas, and I was like, when I was done with that last Vlogmas video, I was like, can we not have these decorations? And yeah, so we took them off, and I'm gonna insert some clips here, but Jason built the coolest little wooden box that the lid slides open, and then you put everything in there. And now it's in the garage, and it can't collect dust and it can't break because it's in a wooden secure box. And yeah, we took that off, and now I feel like decluttered, because the little trinkets and all the Christmassy stuff everywhere can be quite intense. So that also aids to me feeling better that that's now gone. So yeah, that's what happened in a span of a week and a half. And here we are in 2021. So what I wanted to do was just give you I'm calling it a life update. There's nothing excessive in terms of update. It's more where I'm at in terms of my head, in terms of certain goals, and what I kind of foresee or would hope 2021 would look like. I generally don't have New Year's resolutions. I've never had them ever in my life. And I think it's due to the fact that I'm someone that is quite skeptic. I always kind of feel like either someone has an hidden agenda or that things will just not go according to plan. And that's why I, first of all, because I'm an Enneagram 6 personality, I like to plan everything. I like to plan for all the what ifs, so that there's really no loopholes for stuff to go wrong. Because of that, I don't really like the goals, because I can't to the T plan each, New Year's resolution. It just isn't realistic. So I kind of always have an idea what I think I want my year to look like, but I never have like serious like writing down of goals. This year I actually decided to do some of those because last year obviously showed us that nothing really, is set to go according to plan. It could change, a lot of crazy things can happen. But I feel that because I usually never set these resolutions or whatever, I kind of am very open-minded, and so I set small achievable goals for this year rather than like big elaborate ones, and also goals that I would be able to achieve with very little, if that makes sense. So that's kind of how I kind of envision this going. I don't need a lot to achieve it. It's small stuff, but it's stuff that, means something to me, hence me choosing those as my goals. But it's not big elaborate things. I can achieve those, in the space that I'm in currently. So in the last section of the video, I will like run through like what my goals are. I kind of categorize it in like my YouTube vlog kind of goals, my like life goals, and then relationship goals between me and Jason. So those are the goals that I will like run through. But before that, I have an exciting announcement to make. So I think I touched on this somewhere during Vlogmas, maybe I mentioned that in one of my last videos, but Jason's very handy. Like, I can tell you now, there's nothing that he can't do. It's the best feeling for me because I know whenever something either breaks or I want something that I know he can make, it's always, he's like my go-to person. It's so nice to have him around, to be honest. He's literally like my handyman. So I have like kind of, played with this idea, and I've chatted to him and I've asked him what his, vibes about it, but I wanted to incorporate little segments into each of my videos, or maybe not every single video, we'll see how it goes, but just a segment into my videos where we kind of do a little like tool project with Jason. And the segment's name is Tool Time with Tritter, which that's his last name. So if you don't know, that's why it's called that. Anyway, so that's the segment that he'll kind of run on this channel, whatever. And hopefully with every video, we'll have little Tool Time with Tritter like section. It's short, like 2 minutes or whatever, where he just does his normal DIY or like repairs, anything that he does here around the flat, on the garage, or whatever he does. Maybe sometimes he makes me little things, like hooks, or if I need something. Like I said, because he anyway does these things, I thought if we film it, we do little segments, maybe someone that's watching this video can learn something. It's simple stuff. It's like not at all like intense or like difficult things. It's very like basic stuff, but sometimes it's nice to see someone else uses a cheaper product but it works as well, and then you learn something. Or, oh, this method actually works a lot better than what I'm struggling with currently, let me try that too because it works for them. Just stuff like that. So we have our first Tool Time with Tritter segment, and I'm going to insert it now, and then after that we'll jump into my goals 2021.
So today, we should start first the scene. It's what is it, Marlies?
It's Tool Time with Tritter.
Tool Time with Tritter. Okay. So,
why? Tell them where you got the name from.
I didn't get the name.
Man, dude.
You're the one who came up with the name.
Which is very creative.
Yes, very creative. So basically, this snippet is just going to involve just a few little DIY tasks that we do here in and around the flat and at home, and little things we make and stuff just to make our lives simpler. Today, we're going to be looking at our front door, which we've been having issues with. It's quite gusty here, so the wind comes out the bottom, and it also comes out along these little slits We got a new door, but obviously the door isn't sealing that well. So basically today we're going to be putting in a special little foam strip, which I'll show you now, just to seal all around the door. I've already done one layer, but it wasn't enough. So if one isn't good enough, then two or three will do, I'm sure. Okay, so this is quite a simple task. Basically, it's just applying this little foam strip. We bought it at the Galmar. It's quite inexpensive. It's I think roughly like 10 Rand. And this is quite a distance. I believe this one is a 5 meter. It's 10 millimeters wide and it's 3 millimeters thick. You do get a 5 millimeter one if your gaps are bigger. Then you can just go straight for that one off the bat. To cut this, it's quite sticky. It's a lot like double-sided tape with one side not being sticky. To trim it, I just use this razor blade. You can use a knife, scissor. The only thing is with the scissor is when you cut it, it tends to stick to the scissor. And when I cut it, I also cut it in at an angle like that, so that, well, in this case, like that. I cut it at an angle like that, so that the adhesive part is somewhat shorter than the non-adhesive part. That way you don't get corners and where they butt up against each other, you know, where the adhesive part sticks, but there's not enough foam to actually make a good seal. Other than that, it's just a little bit of clean water, a little bit of dish soap in it, just to clean up the area where you're going to stick this down. And yeah, you'll follow me to the door. As I get to the bottom, I take off the mounting paper as far as I can. I use my little blade just to cut into that area, and hopefully that's pretty neat. I run it over again just to press them down. It's kind of important that you get the thickness of your foam correct, because this door can actually push the foam in as it closes. And that's that. So now just onto the other side. Okay, so you might not realize it, but there's definitely way less or actually absolutely no wind coming through here anymore.
And there's a lot of wind here.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. So there's still air coming through the bottom of the door, and we've got an alternative plan for that, but we want to do something with this floor before we put the wind barrier on there. But round about here where there used to come a lot of breeze through, there's literally nothing. So all in all, it's a success. I think what's important is that you be very careful, because once the stuff is stuck, it's stuck. The glue is very sticky. However, it doesn't want to stick to anything that's wet. It's important to let the door frame dry once you've cleaned the dust off before you start sticking your foam on. Other than that, very simple thing to do, and it makes a big difference. Hey, Marlies?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, till next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
So, we're back. I hope you enjoyed that little session with him. He really is very creative when it comes to like fixing things. If there's any kind of things you would like to see in the Tool Time with Twitter section, then just comment with the hashtag Tool Time with Twitter in the comment section, and then we might try and attempt those kind of things. Whatever it is, just comment if you want to see something, or if you want to see us use a certain tool, or you don't understand how to use a tool, or a better way that you want to learn how to do something, then that would be nice if you could comment that in the comment section. Otherwise, we'll just go on with our normal, things that we do. So let's jump into the section of my goals and my vision, if you want to call that, for 2021. So I'm going to start with like my vlog, YouTube channel video goals, and then we'll move on. So I have it here on my phone, just looking on my phone. Yeah. Before I jump in, I was looking for a tool where I can add all my things in, my to-dos, my calendar, my goals, reading lists, recipes, grocery lists, you name it. I want to have like a combined platform, like a central location. I don't want to go into one app to look at one thing and a different app to look into a different thing. I just wanted everything in one app. And I found this platform called Notion. It is incredible. It has everything. So Notion is really cool. What I did was, as you can see, there's so many options along the side. But what I did was I created a life wiki, and within the life wiki, you literally can have anything. And it's like a dashboard, like a wiki, and you just have everything there. And I felt like that was like, I mean, perfect. And I haven't seen too many applications that provide you with that platform. So as you can see, I have writing and planning and growth. With planning, we have a travel planner, task list, reading list, groceries, YouTube video schedule. With growth, I have my YouTube goals, my life goals, and my relationship goals. Then you can do a week ahead in calendar and like know what you want to do. I haven't uploaded a lot of things there except for I need to go for a run. And yeah, and then for instance, if I go into, I'm just going to go into the habit tracker, you can create a habit tracker in a calendar form, and I have like, I want to drink, a lot of water, I need to get, plus 7 hours of sleep, I need to run 3.5 Ks, and you can tick these off. They have tick boxes, which is really, really cool. It does not need to be in a calendar form. You can view it, in different views as well. So I just thought that was like so helpful. Then I have my goals, travel planner is quite cool. I haven't filled it out. This is just the template, but you can have a packing list, travel dates, your hotels and contacts. When you book it, you can add all in here. This you can also access through an app on your phone. And then also, I'm not going to Barcelona, but this is just a template. But yeah, then you fill in all your details as well as it shows you your map. So this is really good, and you can add multiple like columns with new items inside those columns. Anyway, let's start with my YouTube goals. So I have very small YouTube goals just because I don't want to set super unrealistic expectations. I'd rather exceed my goal than not kind of, make it or achieve it. So also because I work full time, and then after work, after hours, I, film and edit and stuff. I do not have too much time. And I needed to take that into consideration when I kind of thought about what I want to achieve in terms of YouTube and stuff this year. I just want to be super realistic. I know it's hard. I know I can push myself, and I will, but I just also want to be super realistic and not, turn into some burnout situation, and then it just all is a mess. And then I end up resenting, the situation, and I just feel like I don't want to set myself up for failure. So what I want to achieve is a certain amount of subscribers by the end of 2021, and I kind of did the simple math of how many subscribers on average I got from May 2020 when I started till now, and kind of just work it out that way. If they grow a little bit faster, then obviously that amount, wouldn't be the same, but I just felt like that's the safest calculation to make at this point, and it might be too safe. I mean, maybe I should push myself a little bit harder, but I just feel like I'll evaluate like 6 months in, and I think it's with all of my goals, is that these might not be for the, the whole stretch of 2021, but maybe for 6 months and then reevaluate, which I find nothing wrong with. So yeah, I also want to start making longer videos, and I kind of set the goal for myself that 18 minutes is the minimum that I want to upload. I would like to upload like 25 minutes, but sometimes it's a little bit unrealistic. So 18 minutes is where I'm at. I want to kind of keep to that amount of minutes for my videos. That is what I want to achieve. I have also decided to only upload once a week, because last year I uploaded twice a week, and then Vlogmas, sometimes uploaded 3 times a week. As I said, I have a permanent job, so I don't want to be unrealistic and want to push out all these videos and then they might not be the quality that they deserve to be. So I made the decision that I'm going to upload every Sunday, and that's going to be it. If there's something that's happening exciting or video that's on my mind that I would like to do, then there might be a bonus video in that week, maybe on a Wednesday. But for now, I want to stick to one longer video every Sunday. So that's where we're at. So that's the goal, to just stick to that. And then the last goal that I have is to upskill myself in terms of shooting and editing. I have a really great camera, and although I've watched some YouTube videos in terms of how to use it, I would like to optimize that and get like the most out of my camera. So I want to upskill in terms of using the camera functionality, as well as upskilling myself in terms of editing. Now, I don't know where I'm going to get the time to, enroll in short courses or watch multiple YouTube videos on how to do some things, but that's a goal. Even if I just learn 1 or 2 extra skills, that for me is great. So moving on to life goals. The first thing in my notes that I kind of typed out was traveling. And it might sound very basic, not really, it's not like a big thing, it's not really an achievable thing necessarily, depends on how you look at it. But we were supposed to travel in 2020, and then we were also supposed to travel next month, and we officially pushed that out, and we moved till the end of 2021, and we are positive that things will look better at that point. And this trip was something that we really wanted to do, and we saved up for it. We really thought about it before we even booked it. And I mean, it's not the end of the world that we couldn't go. There will always be time in the future, but it's something that we would love to achieve this year, because there's so many other things we have on the cards for ourselves and our relationship and our future. This is something we would like to do at this point in our lives in order for us to do other things that we want to do. We are just praying that it will be possible for us to, at the end of 2021, be able to travel, and that will just mean a lot to both of us for various reasons. Okay, so the next one is my skincare routine. So I feel like 2020 I really kind of started getting to know my skin a lot better, like what it likes, what it doesn't like, what works, like what irritates my skin, what dries my skin out, all this kind of funny stuff. I'm not an expert at this, so I am very skeptical also about, just seeing ads for certain things and wanting to try it without really knowing, what's in the products. And also, all of us have different skin types. So you can promote something and it can be great for you, but it might not be great for me. And then I found, this is actually by accident, I found this YouTube channel, and maybe you are all watching him, but I only discovered him in 2020, and his channel's name is, I think it's like Skincare by Hyrum, and I'll just put it on the screen here, and I'll add it into the description box so you can go watch his videos, because it's so brilliant. So his take on these skincare products is that he analyzes the ingredients in the product, and for me that says a lot more than you trying it on your skin and giving me your feedback in terms of what you feel and how your skin feels, because my skin isn't the same as yours. It might be your number one product, but it might not be mine. Where ingredients doesn't lie, and that's actually a line that Hyrum always uses in his videos, but that's the truth, it doesn't lie. There's good skincare ingredients and then there's bad ones, and I really have learned so much. I don't miss a video. He analyzes brands, you know, ingredient lists, and I've really been so inspired. So there are certain skincare brands that he always mentions in his videos. It's his favorite. You know, he really speaks about how irritating fragrance can be to one's skin, and that's why I am now completely against using fragrance products. I mean, I already don't use any fragrance products on my face, but go and watch his videos. It's pretty cool. You learn so much. And off the back of that, that's why I also have this goal, is to get a set skincare routine and stick to that, be consistent, and evaluate my skin. So I am going to, I think next week or so, maybe on the weekend, I'm going to order the products. It's not expensive stuff at all, and like he said, he doesn't believe you need to have this 10-step skincare routine. A good moisturizer, a good face wash, serum, and a sunscreen. That's it. No, you don't need all the fancy eye creams and millions of masks and this and that, and all those fancy stuff. You also don't need to pay the most ridiculous amounts for certain things. So yeah, next up is the renovations for the apartment. So I don't want to go into much detail here because the Enneagram 6 in me doesn't want to speak before it actually realizes, because what if it doesn't happen and then I look like an idiot? So no. So our timeline was to first travel, and when we come back we tackle the renovations. But because we've had to push out the traveling, we've kind of swapped them around, and we're going to first do renovations and then we're going to travel. So if you don't know, renovations are expensive. It doesn't matter which products you use, how small your place is, it still all adds up. It is expensive. And because the idea is, once we've renovated the space, that we would get rentals in, and then they would stay here and benefit from nice renovations and stuff. We don't want it, this is not like our forever home. We don't want to renovate and put too much cash into it. So yeah, that's where we're at. We've done some drawings, we've looked at materials we want to use, hardware, countertops, flooring, color schemes, appliances, all those kind of things. Because just to kind of give you more detailed background, we're only going to do the renovation of the kitchen and the foyer, and then later into the bathroom, because they're all in one section. The other part of the apartment's fine. So we are busy with that. We're in the planning phase of it, trying to make everything work out, so I don't have a date for it. Once we do have a date for it, then I will document it and I'll show you the before and the progress that we make and the after. But we didn't want to put a date to it just because our schedules are hectic, and it's also expensive, and we need to optimize our resources, etc. So we are trying to finalize those things. But yeah, that is definitely going to happen in 2021. We just don't know yet. We are hoping for it to be in the beginning portion of the year. So yeah, that is a big kind of goal for us to finish off, because we've been speaking about it for quite some time, and we want to do it. I think we're gonna enjoy it so much, because there's a lot of things that we're gonna do ourselves that I think will be fun, especially for me. I don't usually tap into a lot of DIY kind of situations, but I think with this, I think it's going to be really cool. So that is definitely something that I know we will achieve within this year. And then lastly, tapping into relationship goals. This is collective goals between us. It's not me sitting and thinking about goals between me and Jason we need to achieve. This is just, we had a chat about it, and the two important ones that we really want to focus on is Bible time together, because often we find ourselves doing it separately and spending time with God separately, which is fine, but we also want to spend more time with God and just doing our Bible study together as well. So that's something that we have already started with. I just feel like having that foundation is just always good, and we've always had a good foundation in terms of that, but I just felt like we could do more together. So anyway, that's the first one, which is really important to us. And then the second one is being better at communicating. So the thing is, with me, I am very specific in what I want, how I want it to be done. I'm a planner. I plan for everything that can potentially go wrong so that nothing goes wrong, like I said. And he is really the opposite. He is more like a go with the flow kind of guy. He plans, but not to the extent that I do, and sometimes I get frustrated and then I don't voice it accordingly, and it's just a mess, and I come across as being rude and stuff. And I sometimes feel like he is inconsiderate because he isn't planning like I'm planning. So we've just chatted about it, and we really want to just optimize communication in the relationship, because I think we can annoy each other quite intensely because of the way we communicate. And it's not like there's a lack of communication, because that's not it, but it's the way we communicate. So we are trying to be very thoughtful and conscious of the way we communicate to each other, and maybe just be more sensitive towards each other, because I'm not sensitive when it comes to stuff like that. I say stuff like it is, and it can quite often be quite offensive, and I don't mean it that way, but he then might think that I'm just rude or inconsiderate or whatever, and so on. Yeah, that's a very important one for two of us to kind of master the communication. That is it, I think, from a life update, goals 2021 situation video. So I will, like I said, upload every Sunday going forward, maybe with a bonus video here and there if there's a need for it. And then don't forget our segments called Tool Time with Twitter, and you can hashtag Tool Time with Twitter in the comments if you want to see a DIY project, how to use certain tools, anything basically. Just comment with the hashtag in the comment section below. I hope that you feel somewhat inspired for the year. I mean, to be honest with you, no pressure. You don't have to. Many years have gone by where we don't have a worldwide pandemic and things are really not that bad, and then I still don't feel inspired in January. So I'm happy that I do feel somewhat positive. I know things aren't looking that positive, but I'm really trying to focus on looking at the positives, because we are surrounded with so many negatives that I want to live in the moment feeling a little bit of happiness, and I don't want to feel guilt because I feel this way. But so many people don't feel this way, and that is 100% fine. You don't have to feel any way you don't want to feel, and people should give themselves time to feel however they need to feel at whatever point in their life. Doesn't matter if it's the beginning or the end or the middle of the year, it doesn't matter. At any point you can feel better. It doesn't need to be on the 1st of January. Anyways, thank you for watching my first video of 2021, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm so excited for the videos to come, and to share wherever life is going to take me this year with all of you. Anyway, I'll see you next Sunday again. Bye.